Hey guys, so complete apology for the lateness of this review. I was pretty much I was out having dinner with the family, and as of now, as of late, those dinners tend to run a little bit later than they intend than they actually intend to be. But yeah, here I am anyway. Um, so yeah, obviously the first thing to say is the art and animation was more or less godly this week, but the thing is, it's one of those times where the effort is so good for the most part that is so good. Like the effort put into the art animation this week is so good that for the most part, it makes you forget the fact that only 10 pages were really adapted into this episode. And since majority of that is basically the Straw Hats and their allies fighting the Beast Pirates, it's one of those things where it's one of those things where there are certain times where because it is mostly a fighting chapter and because there's so much intensity and fighting going on, there you I think there are going to be some people who pretty much might feel the need to take a bit of a break halfway through the episode and take a breath because Toei almost did, in some ways, Toei almost did too good a job with this episode and taking advantage of the fact that they were only working with 10 pages of content because by adding in so many little extra moments and details into the episode combined with the stellar animation, this episode felt even more like an event than how the manga treated it, as you got to see like this is kind of one of those episodes where everyone stands out, everyone contributes in this episode, and pretty much everyone has a reason for pretty much being there and for fighting against Kaido and the Animal Kingdom Beast Pirates. Like everyone there has a reason in order to be in this fight, and everyone is showcased in a way that in a way that pretty much gives them adequate spotlight and just shows just how capable and how powerful they are. And and yeah, just everyone had, and like the biggest highlight of this episode is that everyone had a moment that pretty much showed them that pretty much showed their contribution towards defeating Kaido's forces. And keep in mind, and the one thing to keep in mind more than anything else though is keep in mind that this is just the opening act. We haven't even gotten to Onigashima yet. Like it's it's so weird to say, but if I were to describe this episode in any other way, this pretty much felt like a pretty much miniature version of the Ed War where Roger faced Shiki. Like again, that in some ways was on a much larger scale, but there's something about this episode that just felt big and grand and epic and just. It really kind of outdid the manga in terms of size and in terms of size and all that kind of thing. Um, Also, no offense to the manga, but aside from being a visual spectacle, I think one other thing I like about this episode is I feel it does a better visually depicting to us how a Straw Hats had overcome Orochi's trap, and even more so, I really feel it just gave credit where it's due to Frankie's abilities as a shipwright, and pretty much just pretty much reinforced that just how much the legend of the Jewel Tree Atom like earns its reputation. Like just the fact that the Sunny really like survived a bomb blast shows just how true the legends are about the tensile strength of the Jewel Tree's wood, which I think which I don't think is something that the manga has ever, like to my knowledge from reading the manga, I don't think that we've ever really touched upon like just the strength, just how strong and how durable like the atom the atom wood is. Like it's something that I think I think it's always I think it's one of those things where we're always told about the legend of the atom wood, but we're never actually really shown it. And I think, and granted, I think the possible reason for that and why Oda has kept it that way is to kind of leave the legend as a sort of vague mystery of whether or not it was true or not. So I guess you could say it's ruined by this episode, but I think it's just more. It just reinforces the just how true the legend is and just how much the jewel wood of Adam has earned its reputation. Like, it's one of those things where, yeah, in some ways you could say just learning this has ruined the mystery, but in other ways I think it still really really works. And and yeah, just from again, it just gives credit that, yeah, that Adam Wood has earned his reputation. Um, Now, with that said, despite the Straw Hats' arrival, I do like how things still didn't go precisely to plan, and how the episode did still take the time to show that they are still outnumbered, at least until Denjiro's arrival. But I think showing that element was still important to reinforce to us that, as the viewer, that, yeah, even despite how powerful Luffy and the others are, they are still up against the strength of a Yonko. Like, that is a factor that we will see continuously play out from here, and something that will constantly be reinforced. That, yeah, it doesn't matter how strong Luffy and the others are, they are still up against the Yonko. That is like the one key thing that is always going to be like at the forefront of the arc from here on out. But getting into Denjiro's arrival at the end of this episode, obviously just the fact that he took out one of Kaido's ships with a single slash shows that even if Kaido well, pretty much should be feared, at the same time, underestimating the ones opposing him is just as dangerous. But now that he has arrived, now that Denjiro has arrived on the scene, like, honestly, from here, just prepare for one of the most hilarious misunderstandings in One Piece history. Like, it pretty much takes the Straw Hats whole penchant, the Straw Hats and their allies, like, penchant for absolute luck in any situation, and just pretty much puts that shit to the forefront. Like Denjiro's arrival and what's about to go down with his arrival, and how he reintroduces himself to Kinemon and the others. It is just a hilariously beautiful sight, to put it lightly. I mean, I sure as hell laughed a lot. Also, one minor addition that I really liked about this episode is that it added a scene of Luffy, like, taking notice of where Kanjuro was on the battlefield, which is a small scene, but I feel it does showcase Luffy's awareness, and how even if he doesn't know what's going on, just by seeing Kanjuro where he was, it was pretty much enough for him in order to at least have some kind of, in order to be cautious and have some kind of cautious awareness of what's going to happen, like, going forward. Like, I think that was kind of one of the key things for me about this episode. In that one scene, is that it pretty much showed, like, that pretty much Luffy isn't a dumb isn't, like, I think in a lot of ways that we sometimes forget. We look at Luffy's goofiness so much that we forget that he is in his own way smart. And that little scene with Luffy looking at Kanjuro, it does show that he is that he is aware of his surroundings. He isn't just someone who entirely rushes in without thinking. And yeah, there's just so many great little touches throughout this episode. Like, for example, seeing Carrot, Usopp, and Chopper visualizing what an alliance between Big Mom and Kaido means is honestly just fan realization at its finest. Like, that Big Mom riding on Kaido's head, that is just a beautiful sight. But even more than that, I love the musical cue where the opening starts playing as Luffy, Law, and Kid are preparing to jump into the fight themselves. Like, just like little touches like that really make a scene for me. In fact, the dynamic of those three when they started fighting, it was, again, a visual spectacle, but just seeing their dynamic as well was the highlight of the episode as well. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Twitter, Analyst, Crunchyroll, and be sure to hit the notification bell and the notification button, and just share this one around, guys. Death Knight of May, signing off. Later.